Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. My name is Ree Cross. I work in student well-being and accessibility, and we provide free mental health counseling, totally free. You can come see us. And I want to just have some, let you know that this was a dream. We saw TJ speak in September. And to make a dream into reality, you guys know, most of you are athletes here, is hard work, determination, right, and setting a goal. And so I set this goal. Let's have him come. He's a great speaker. He has a most powerful message to tell you all today. And so I want to thank the Student Wellbeing and Accessibility team to make this happen. We put a lot of work and a lot of hours to have that. So thank you, team. I want to thank Student Life. They presented today a wonderful lunch. I want to thank athletics for partnering with you guys, and most of you guys for coming and participating with us. I want to thank Start to Finish. Start to Finish helped us navigate a lot of the moving pieces, and facilities today. All of this setup and all the moving pieces, facilities managed beautifully for us. So just a special gratitude, right? When we celebrate our goals, we want to share it with our support system. So I'm thankful around that. I also just want to remind you in this conversation today that it's finding your best self. And most of you guys have been part of the mental health game, right? How many of you guys have been part of the mental health game with myself or Rachel? Okay. And we talk about what? We talk about resiliency, and we talk about skills to be our better version of ourselves at school, in relationships, and in our sport we play. And that's the message that TJ is going to talk to you guys through today. So I really want you to pause and reflect on that for yourselves. So with gratitude, I'm going to introduce TJ Duckett. He is our guest speaker. He is a Michigan State graduate. He played running back for Michigan State. You guys know I'm a Michigan State grad, right? How excited am I? Go green, go white. And he played 7 years in the NFL. So we know him around that, but he has this other identity. And his identity is he's an entrepreneur. He has written the book that all of you guys received. He is a businessman. He is a family man. And he talks through how education and family and resiliency is important. So I'd like to thank him today. And let's bring him up with a warm welcome.
Hey. Turn me up, turn me up. There we go.
We ready now. You ready for this? We here.
Yeah.
Okay, they're over there. Okay, in the shotgun smoker from the 2. He could have twice ball. Look at Larry Davis. Even being held. The pass into the end zone. Unbelievable. Gonna roll to his right. 1. Puts after him. He missed the block. He's running.
Duckett Enterprises, where the sky is our footrest. Welcome. One person volunteered, 2 raindrops, 3 raindrops. And that's how stuff gets done. Flood the world through giving and service. A single raindrop is the beginning of flood. What we are focused on is volunteerism. And that's what this is all about. That's what the power of us as individual people, believing in ourselves and finding our passion. They're actually going to give us an opportunity to leave our mark and leave our legacy on this beautiful place we call Earth. Gets no better than that. It's that magic. On to the next level, I'm the Rainmaker, make room. It's the Rainmaker, make room.
How we doing? How we doing? How we doing?
I'm the Rainmaker, make
How we doing?
room.
Appreciate y'all having me. Appreciate y'all allowing me this time to speak. My name is Todd T.J. Duckett. I'm from Kalamazoo, born and raised. And I got a time to share my story with you all. So, you know, time is very valuable, and I don't want us to waste each other's time. So I'm gonna give you my life story. I'm gonna let you know some of the things I've been through, some of my challenges, and hopefully this will help inspire you. Hopefully this will motivate you. Hopefully you'll see yourself a little bit different at the end of today and how you present yourself and how you carry yourself. Y'all ready to go on this journey? Y'all ready to go on this journey with me? Let's do it. So first, we're going to start with purpose, perseverance, and progress. You have to have a purpose in order to persevere through something, in order to see progress. And for me, that starts with the standard of excellence. Excellence is the standard. It's your habits. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you see yourself. It's the things you do. Do you do it in an excellent way? See, good is a habit too. You can do things very good. That can be your habit. Or you can take it up a level and become excellent. Now, as a kid, I'm 2 years old here. I come from a family of educators and athletes. My dad was a teacher for 56 years. My mother was a teacher for 38 years. They really harped on me about getting great grades and participating in class, being a student, showing up, being proud to learn something. At the same time, have an older brother who, that's him right there holding the football. He's the third all-time leading rusher in Michigan State history. In 1990, he was the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, and they also ended up winning the Big Ten that year. So as a kid, I wanted to be a football player. So I would put on his shoulder pads. I would run around the track, the gym, because football was what my life was going to be. I was starting to get good too. I was starting to be bigger than everybody. I was starting to feel myself a little bit. And then what would happen is, as I would go to class, school, my parents, my teachers would say, "So what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I say, "I want to be an NFL player." And they'd be like, "Yeah, that's cool, but what else would you want to be when you grow up?" And I say, "I can play in the NFL." And I kept getting this look. Y'all know where this is from? Fresh Prince. Parents just don't understand what you're trying to do sometimes. So I'm trying to tell my people, "Look, I want to play in the NFL. Like, it's a job, right? They get paid, right? How come you saying I can't do it?" Not knowing that 1% of people have the opportunity to do that. But I believed I was going to be that 1%. Here I am at 10 years old. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5, 6, 7. What you talking about, man? I'm on my way to the league, baby. You don't see what I'm doing? And then my parents started to get me Sports Illustrated for kids. So this is when I didn't like to read. I was young. I didn't want to read. But I was able to learn about these professional athletes. And I realized that these professional athletes were just like me. There was nothing special about them. Some of us had the same favorite color. Some of us liked the same kind of ice cream. They were people. They were everyday people that had a standard that they lived by. They had goals that they wanted to achieve. And I'm right there with them. This is me in 8th grade. Give me that. Fumble on the 1. Very next play. Can he do it? Can he go? 99? Rolling. I got my first letter in 8th grade to the University of Wisconsin to play football as an 8th grader. So I'm telling my people, like, "Yo, it's happening, baby. I'm on my way. I'm rolling. Nothing's going to stop me." And then I had my first adversity. At the end of my 8th grade year, the last full day of school, I ruptured my patella tendon playing basketball, dunking a basketball, put my kneecap off. I'm on my way already. Now I can't walk. My freshman team, they go undefeated. And they like, "Hey, Duck, baby, we don't need you no more. We good." "What you mean you don't need me? What is that?" I didn't know I was depressed at the time, but that's the first time I entered a depression. Something that I had loved, the dream that I had was about to be taken away from me. I couldn't do it. So thankfully, excuse me, thankfully, I didn't have any ligament damage. They put 2 screws in my leg, and the doctor said, all you got to do is keep training. You keep training, you keep pushing, you can still live that dream. But on top of that, my parents, my family, they believed in me. And so what they did was they gave me the ingredients to be excellent. And these are them. The first ingredient was goal setting. Well, the goal is the NFL. That's the long-term goal. That hasn't changed. But now my short-term goals, I need to have a short-term goal, and that was just to bend my leg. My short-term goal was just to be able to walk straight, to be able to get up. Then I had to commit to myself. I had to commit to my routine. I had to commit to my own dream. I had to commit to my work. But also my parents committed to me. My teachers committed to me. My coaches committed to me. We all committed to each other. And then I had to stay disciplined, stay focused. School would end at 2:30. I wouldn't leave till 7. I was running. I was lifting. I'm in the pool. I was training. I didn't play football, basketball. I didn't run track. I didn't do anything my freshman year. I just committed to myself, to the work, and stayed disciplined. Hard work and effort. Every time I showed up to work out, it wasn't just go through I'm here, just go through the motions. No, it was turned up to 10 every single time. I'm trying to walk. I'm trying to be an NFL athlete. So every time I walked into that weight room, that track, I wasn't there to go through the motions. I was there to be the best because the standard is excellence. And then sacrifice. Man, all my friends would get on the bus at 2:30, they out of here. I'm hearing about the parties. I'm hearing about all this fun that they having. And I'm in here on a dang Cybex machine trying to get right. Sacrificing the time now, the fun stuff, all this excitement for this dream in the future that I'm investing my life in. And I had to believe and trust. Believe in myself, trust myself. I had to believe in my coaches and my parents, trust in my coaches and my parents. I had to believe the process. I had to trust the process. And I did. 9 months of work, not play, of work. I came back a 250-pound 10th grader, benching 500 pounds, squatting 650. I'm in Sports Illustrated, Old Spice Athlete of the Month. They saying I'm the best junior in the country. I'm on magazines. I'm rolling. A little something against Harper Creek. It's my junior year. Yeah, that's 1. That's 2. It hasn't changed now. See the difference before? Talent got me there before. Talent is what opens the door. But your habits and your work ethic decide how long that door stays open. And talent got me to high school, but now I'm against a bunch of talented people. And I can't walk. So I got to work. I have to put effort. I have to challenge myself. And I did. I was able to come out on the other side of that storm saying I'm the best athlete ever to come out this area, including my older brother. And I tell him that every. But I played football, I played basketball, I played baseball. I was all state. Baseball, I played varsity for 4 years. Basketball, we made it to the regionals. And in track, I'm state champion 3 years in a row in the shot and in the 4x1. Through the shot, 67 feet. It's still a state record. I had a broken leg 4 years before this. I couldn't walk. But I had a passion, I had purpose, I persevered, and I had some progress. After all of that, I become the #1 recruit in the country for football. Now, to me, football is an American sport. We really only play that here in the United States. So technically, I tell myself I was the best football player in the world. Argue with me if you want. And now with that, I could go to anywhere I wanted to. But I chose to go to Michigan State. I chose to be a Michigan State Spartan. Being able to follow my brother's footsteps. But then I had my first adversity hit me, my second one. The spring of my freshman year, my mother passed from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I was a freshman. March 17, 2000. I didn't want to play football no more. I didn't want to go to school no more. I didn't want to do none of the things that I wanted to. None of the goals, none of the dreams. I was ready to quit. I was ready to give it up. But I knew that's not what she would want. I knew that wasn't the dream. Everything I did was for her, but she was no longer there for me to do it for. So I had to find something inside of me. I had to find a new why. I had to find a new reason to sacrifice, a new reason to commit. My friends, my teammates, I wasn't even going to class, y'all. I was ready. I was about to be kicked out of school. My friends, my teammates got me up. They rallied me through, and they got me back. They got me back. And when I came back, well, first, these are the same tools. I had to reconnect to the goal. The goal is still the NFL, but I had to reconnect to it. I had to remake it a priority. I had to recommit to it. I had to figure out what focus was and discipline, because now I'm in college. And discipline, there's a lot more distractions in college than there were in high school. And I was following these distractions rather than following my dream. Had to reconnect to them. Hard work, man, I'm this close to the NFL. You talk about give up now. I had to turn that heat all the way up. Sacrifice hanging out. My mother made the ultimate sacrifice, so I couldn't go to practice. She paid the ultimate price fighting through that cancer. And I'm complaining because my leg hurts, because my shoulder hurts. For my dream. And I had to believe and trust still. I believed in and trusted before, but this happened. This wasn't in my plan. So I had to believe and trust that it was still in my cards to have my dream. I had to believe in that same process. I had to trust that same process. And I came back standing on trucks. I came back focused, determined, that close to my goal. After that one setback, I came knowing nobody was going to take it from me this time. It wasn't going to happen. Especially them. And we don't like them. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. And this was the moment. This is when I knew I was back on track. I was back focused. I was back in my space. I was back on that road. I'm ready. So what's next? The dream's alive, baby. Let's go. Let's throw our name in the hat. See what happens.
With the 18th choice in the 2002 draft, the Atlanta Falcons select T.J. Duckett, running back from Michigan
I get to hear
State.
my name called on draft day. An 8-year-old's dream come true. Broken leg. Had a broken leg like 6 years before that. My mom passed like 3 years before that. She never got to see this. She never got to experience that. Got a chance to go play for the Atlanta Falcons, Washington Redskins, Detroit Lions, and the Seattle Seahawks. I was living the dream. I was there. And I did it well. And I had a lot of fun, too. Anything y'all think about happening there, it may or may not have happened. It's the best time of my life. Here's some footage of when I was playing. But as a kid, I had a dream. I understood what the standard was. I understood I had to go to work every single day. The commitment, the dedication. I understood everybody didn't have the same path that I had, so everybody didn't have the same rules and responsibility as me. I understood that just before this, I had a broken leg. I also understood that I lost the most important person to me through this journey. But I was able to persevere. I was able to push through. I had a purpose. I persevered. I pushed through. I had progress, and it led me here. Excellence is the standard. My family, my teammates, my support system. I encourage you to build your support system. Understand who's here to help you. Understand who's here to help you do better. Understand who you can talk to when you have down times, when you're not feeling the best, when your mind's not into it. Understand you have to have a purpose. Get you a purpose. Because if you have no purpose, there's no reason to persevere. There will be no progress. At the end of it, my process was complete. Dreams do come true. They do. They absolutely happen. And I lived the dream. It came true until it didn't. I'm living what I wanted my whole entire life. But now I don't want to go to practice. I don't want to go to practice. What? We doing what today? I ain't trying to do that. I'm trying to go over here and party. I'm trying to go over here and do these things. So I get to the height of my dream. I get to what I've been waiting for my whole entire life. I take my foot off the gas pedal. I stop performing at a high level. I forget my standard. Ultimately, you get fired. They call it released. They call it cut. Nah, bruh, you got fired. And you can't go to another job and apply. What? My resume is the tape. You get fired from McDonald's, you can go to Burger King. You get fired from Burger King, you can go to Wendy's. But you get fired from the NFL team, what you gonna do? Hope somebody calls, maybe. 20 years of my life. 20 years. From 8 years old to 20, 28. Gone, done. My career's over. Now, part of me felt great about it because 20 years of structure, of a coach on your head every single day, of having to be at practice, of having to eat right, of having to train, 20 years of that, man, I'm like free now. I'm free. I ain't got to do none of that. Y'all seen this? What? I'm finna get it in. I ain't got no job and I ain't got nothing to do. It's Friday. All today. And all of a sudden, that party didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. I started down this path that I'd never been on before. I had structure. I had discipline. Most importantly, I had a goal and I had purpose. But when football was over, I had no more purpose. I had no more goal, which eliminated all of the structure. I was just partying. I was partying, having a great time. But I also realized I was going down the same path that a lot of my teammates had gone down, a lot of my peers. Noticing when that routine that you're used to turns into a rut that takes you down to a hole that's hard to get out of. I had teammates that went broke. I had teammates that took their life because their routine was a rut and they were in a dark, dark place and didn't know how to get out of it. And I found myself right in the same place. The same place I said, oh, this ain't gonna happen to me. I'm smarter than that. I'm not gonna live that life. That's not me. I found myself in the same spot. One day, after one of these nights I'm partying, I was walking home. I was at the bar. It's about 2 in the morning, 2:30. I'm walking home. And as I'm walking, I see this homeless man. He's crossing the street. And something just like locked in on him. He's crossing the street and his car almost hit him. I'm like, whoa. And he keeps crossing. And he's walking towards a dumpster. He gets closer to that dumpster and kind of like turns around. And I see my face on his face. I said, what? That's me. If I stay on this path that I'm on, that is my life. And I have friends that is their real life. I have teammates that took their life because they couldn't handle that life. And it was real to me. And that was not the place I came from. That was not the standard that was taught me. That was not who I was. That was not my identity. But I'm on the path, so it must be me. I was about to be invisible. Well, my whole life I was told I was somebody. That was the moment I had to wake up. I had to wake up and get myself together. I didn't have a coach calling me, hey, man, you coming to class today? You coming to practice? I didn't have a mom saying, hey, man, get up, man, you got to go. I ain't had that. I had to figure it out. I had to see what I had to do. I had to make my next move. And so what I did was I went up to my bathroom. I got home, I went in my bathroom, and I sat there. I pulled the chair up, and I sat in front of this mirror. And I started to ask myself questions. Like, who are you? What do you like? What are we doing? What is our purpose? Some of them I didn't have answers for. I couldn't tell you. Some of them I'm like saying to myself, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. And I had to say, self, no, I don't know what you're saying. Spit it out. Tell me. I'm holding you accountable. I was able to, during that time, I was able to come up with a lot of, there were thoughts that I had. You know, games that I played where maybe if I would have went this way, maybe I would have been in the Super Bowl. Maybe if I'd have caught this pass, maybe I wouldn't have got cut. Had to own a lot of these things that were in my mind, a lot of these tragedies that were in I had to own them. And once I was able to own them, I was able to let them go. They didn't control my life no more. I'm in control of my life. And now is the time for me to dictate what's going to happen to my life. It's time for me to reconnect to what it's about. How many of y'all need to reconnect with yourself right now? How many of y'all need to have that conversation with yourself? How many of y'all are just here, been running and going, class, practice, relationship? How many of y'all need to just slow down and say, what am I doing? What is my goal again? Who am I? And these are the questions I ask myself. Who are you, bro? What are you doing? Not only that, what are your strengths and what are your challenges? You just can't run through life, run people over. That's not going to work. You're going to go to jail. So that strength that people love so much, that's a challenge now. You can't lean on that. I had to come up with a new goal. I had to come up with different things. I had to come up with a new thing to commit to, a new identity. I had to create myself from nothing. And what I did was I started to go by Todd. I didn't introduce myself as TJ no more. My name is Todd. And nobody could ever put it together. It's like Superman. Take off your glasses. Oh, you're Superman. Put the glasses on. Where'd Superman go? It changes that easy just by switching my name, which Todd had no successes. Todd had no failures. Todd didn't have an ego. Todd had no expectations. Todd was just here to figure who he out, figure what it means. I taught myself how to write with my left hand. I needed a new workout. I didn't have a workout anymore. So my workout was just like a kindergartner. Line paper, start with a lowercase a, and I taught myself how to write with my left hand. Every single day I would do that. Every single day. That was my workout. And then I got connected into the chakra system, the energy systems in my body. I started meditating, started letting things go, letting things come in, letting them come out. Things that are important, things aren't. Help free up my energy to be me fully. I learned numerology. I learned my life path number. I love math. I think the world is built out of math. It gave me something else to look into, something else to study, another workout to find me, to find out what I'm about. And I started reading some books. I started reading these spiritual books. I started to figure out, just like I studied professional athletes like Jerome Bettis, Eddie George, big running backs, Walter Payton. Just like I studied them, I started to study these spiritual people on the planet that actually did the work for people. Because before I can guide others, I have to figure out how to guide myself. And so what I did was I went on a 40-day water fast. Through the reading that I did, all these people, they gave up what the world gave to them. They gave it all up the world of the world to be of something else. And for me, this 40-day water fast, I had all the resources. I had all the money. I had fame. I had everything that I wanted. But then I had to just deprive myself from these things to really figure out who I was. All that weight that I put on in those 20 years of training, I lost in 40 days. I was 190-pound eighth grader when it happened. I'm a 190-pound grown man after playing. I didn't even recognize myself. So I'm looking in the mirror. I really don't even know this guy now. I shaved my beard. Only thing that was familiar to me was my voice. That's the only thing I remembered. So I talked to myself a lot. I gave myself a lot of self-love, a lot of encouragement. I also found my inner child. I got back all the way to the core of who I was before I thought I was famous, before people were telling me how great I was. I got all the way back to the essence of what it meant just to have joy, just to be happy, just to wake up every single day and not be like, why am I here? But actually be fired up to go and earn the right to be here. I was reborn. I was a 30-year-old reborn with a whole new outlook on life. I merged my worlds now. This athlete, this football player, now this everyday, ordinary person. I was able to merge them two and now into the world, not in depression, not in sadness, but with a childlike atmosphere of what can I learn, what can I accomplish, and how great can I be in this next phase. And the core of that, for me, was volunteering, giving, and serving. Being able to give things that, not money, but my time, my presence. Being able to give away my time, that is the most valuable thing on earth, to somebody less fortunate in need. And I love doing that. That's what got me back in my own purpose, in my own path. I started my nonprofit, New World Flood, flooding the world through giving and service, a single raindrop at a time. That's why I became the Rainmaker, creating positive raindrops. Each of you are a raindrop of positivity. If one of you chooses to do something and another one does it, and 3 more, 4 more, 5 more, now we have a flood of people, a flood of love, a flood of giving and service. That's why I call myself the Rainmaker. I do speeches like this. We've fed over 10,000 people Thanksgiving dinners in the past 10 years. We have a school and a community center in Arusha, Tanzania. Now, I need to make some money too now. I can't just be giving it all away. But I wanted to start businesses that weren't about the money, that were about my passion. So I started a t-shirt printing company. I wanted my own clothing line. I started, my brother Tico started a janitorial company, which I ended up partnering with. I started a company that developed student athletes. Everything that I started to do was something that meant to me. It was passionate to me. I wasn't going to someone else's job and applying. I was digging out, what do I want to do? Let me draw it in the dirt and let me create it. That was my next step. That's my brother Tico. That's our janitorial supplies company. This is the book you guys just got, The Student Athlete Blueprint, the ultimate guide to excellence in school and sports. Now this right here, this to me is my best gift to you guys. This is information that over the years, my parents taught me that allowed me to reach the goals that I did. And the best thing I can do is just give it to you and, do what you want with it. The information in there is not a secret. It's there. You just got to read it. And this is my family. I got 5 kids, a beautiful wife. 15 years before this was when I saw that homeless man. 15 years before this was a dream. This wasn't created. 15 years before this, I was in a bathroom saying, who and what will you be doing with your life? And I'm here. I did it. I made it. Now, I am in the phase. I am in the phase of my next greatest challenge. My dad passed last month, January 8th. He had a heart attack on his way to school. This is my hero. This is my everything. And that was a month ago. I'm in it right now. There are days I don't want to get up. There are days that hurt. It hurts so bad. But I've been here before. It's part of it. I got tools this time. It's not easy. But this is what it's about. I get to my dream in 15 years. I'm ready to start flourishing. And then this happens out of nowhere. And I'm in it. I can't. The other stories, I've been through that. That's years ago. This is current. This is raw. This is real. This is my life. But I got tools that he taught me that I continue to ask myself, who am I? Because who I am with my father here is different than who I am with my dad not here. It's different. It's more intense. It's the next level. I've raised the bar. I turned the heat up. The volume is louder. My dreams are bigger. My fire, my want, my will, my energy. I ain't never felt this. My father told me something. He told me something when I turned 40. I'm 45 right now. When I turned 40, my dad said, "Hey, happy birthday." I said, "Thank you." He said, "But those first 40 years, you did good, but they don't count. They don't matter." I said, What you mean? I did some things. He said, "No, you did great. I'm telling you. But those don't matter. Those don't count." I said, "So tell me what you mean. What do you mean?" He said, "Well, these next 40, these are the years your kids are going to see." And I hit me like a ton of bricks. You're right. I can't tell them about the stories I did when I was training, or I can't tell them about plays or times. I can't tell them about those things. But I can show them how I get down now. I can show them how I work. They saw me preparing for this. They saw me signing those books. They're going to see these pictures. I'm living the legacy I'm creating right now through the darkest time of my life. Knowing on the other side of this is joy, is happiness, is everything that I want. And it may take 15 years to actually get there. But he left me with these 3 non-negotiables that I'm going to share with y'all before I get out of here. Because excellence is the standard. He said, remembering your excellence in identity. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. Who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you when nobody's in the room? One of the things that made me one of the top recruits in the country was that no coach had to motivate me. I had a coach, Notre Dame's coach, came to Laurie Norks High School. I'm in the weight room. He snuck in there. He ain't seen me. And they came into the recruiting process late. That coach went up to my dad. He said, "Mr. Duckett, I am so sorry we just now showed up, but we really want your son. I know we're late, but we got to have him." And my dad said, "Why?" And he said, "I've never been into a weight room and seen a kid train by himself like that. There was no coach in there. There was nobody there to motivate me. I didn't even know he was there. But my work ethic, My identity, who I was, shined in that moment. Next, excellent in effort. You don't control the outcome, you just control your effort. You can't control what he's doing. You can't control what she's doing, what they're saying. But you can control how you present yourself every single time you show up. You can control if you choose to be asleep on a table, or you can control if you're paying attention. You can control if you want to try and give effort, or you can say, you know what, I just don't feel like it today. I don't want to do that. Well, you ain't letting your coach down, your teammates down. You are, but ultimately, that's you. That's how you see yourself, and you okay with that. Normal is a habit, just like excellence. And lastly, excellence in response. Life doesn't test you with success, it tests you with adversity. This is the test I'm in right now. This is the one I'm living every single day. I'm so used to picking up the phone and calling my dad, like, hey, I was at Lake Michigan College today. I did woo, woo, woo. I'll ride past Kalamazoo on my way to Lansing, and I'll wave. But in this moment, how will I show up? Because again, it's about me, but the next 40 are about my kids. So how will I show up for them in my darkest time? How will I rise to excellence when all they know is, hey, daddy, this, daddy's fine, not knowing deep inside, I'm hurting? How will I show up? I know how I'm going to show up because the standard is excellence. Where are you? Where are you at on this journey? You are young men and young women at a pivotal place in your life. Where are you? What do you want? Where are your goals? What's your self-worth? What's your self-value? Are you invisible? Nah, you're somebody. You matter. We need you. We got to have you, but you have to step up to the plate your own self. You have to make the difference your own self. You have to want it your own self. You can't want it more than somebody else. And it really shows up in the boring Mondays, the boring Tuesdays. The boring days is really when your identity shows up on what your future's about, what you choose to do on those days when nobody's watching, when you think it doesn't count. Those are the days when empires are built. Those are all the days they crumble. Where are you on this journey is only a question you have to answer for yourself. Nobody else needs to know that answer. And if you don't know, I encourage you to take a picture of this and ask yourself these questions. Who are you? What are your strengths? What are your challenges? What is your goal? And a lot of these may just confirm what you're already doing. It may give you more energy to actually pursue what you have been doing. Some of you may be like, you know what? You're right. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm tripping. I don't even want to do this. I'm doing this because they want me to do it. I don't want to do this, which is why your effort is your effort. Purpose, perseverance, and progress. Having a purpose, having a reason to push through, to persevere, will give you progress. But if you have no purpose, you ain't gonna go, there's no reason to push. There's no reason to give an effort. There's no reason to be excellent. And if there's no reason for that, there's no reason for progress. You're not gonna go anywhere. You'll be a statistic just like some of my friends, just like some of my teammates. You'll be just like them, dead, broke, in jail. Or you can figure out how to get your life together. You can figure out how to refocus on your goals, commit to yourself, push through with perseverance, and the progress that you will have, that will be the definition of this first 40 for you. That will be how you can define your legacy as you start to create your legacy. And excellence is always the standard. What's the standard? What's the standard? Excellence is always the standard. When nobody's watching, when nobody's in the room, when you're by yourself, when you're in your tiredest, darkest time, how you show up for yourself will determine how great you will be. And it's the difference. It's the thing. It's here for everybody. It's here for all of us. There's nobody that's special, that's more excellent than somebody else. We all are the same people. I got these skulls here. I wear skulls on my wrist and on my neck. And what they do, two things for me. When I look at people, I look at them as a skeleton. Because when I can see you straight to your core, I'm not judging you for the color of your skin. I'm not judging you for the way you think. I'm not judging you if you're a man or a woman. I'm looking at you as a person, as a being, as someone who matters, straight to the core. And you're just like me at the core. Also, I look at skeletons as, most people say, oh, that's Halloween, that's scary, that's dark and dangerous. Well, at the core of every single person in here is a skeleton. And sometimes it might be a little scary to go deep inside of who we are and figure out what that is. It might be scary to go in the darkness to save ourselves. But going in the darkness to save yourself is the only person that can do it. Is the only person that will do it. So fearing what you are inside won't allow you to shine on the outside. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Educating ourselves to have the best chance to shine in the future, doing what we love. And excellence is always the standard. Listen, again, it's for anybody. It's for anybody that chooses to look at themselves in a different way, that chooses to pull themselves up and to live at a standard, to have daily habits, to be able to be excellent no matter what's stacked against them, no matter what room they're in, no matter what goals they have, to be able to be the best person you possibly can. I didn't say it was going to be easy, because me having this conversation with you today isn't something that's easy for me to do, but it's necessary, because my standard is excellence and my legacy is part of what y'all are doing. And for you all to rise to the occasion, think bigger of yourself, know that you are somebody, and then go make a difference in this world and in your own life. I believe in you. Trust the process. Remember the standard. And live free daily. I appreciate y'all for this time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all got any questions for me? Anything you want to share? I appreciate that. No question? Anybody got any questions?
Of course, you guys have some questions.
If not, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Just like that, though. Just like that.
Turn me up, DJ. Turn me up, DJ.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Appreciate
You can
it,
sit
appreciate
down now, take a seat.
I'm
Let
done.
me greet your brain. Let me ease the pain. Brighter days from here on, grab a hold of the rain. The thought, the doubt, the why me. Believe in everything on TV. Make up your mind, get your heart straight. What happens next is just fate. I believe deep, I dream big. Out the zoo as a kid to where the Spartan dogs live. That green and white, ride, team fight. Class of the game, stadium changed my name. I was a fan too, then like the other school. Big bro ran that thing, figured I'd do the same. Brought the boom, here comes the boom. On to the next level, I'm the Rainmaker, make room. It's the Rainmaker, make room. I'm the Rainmaker, make room. It's the Rainmaker, make room. Yeah. I'm the Rainmaker, make room. My mind was made the day I jumped into this. With God as my witness, I blew a kiss, developed my gift, saw the risk as bliss and haven't looked back since. Decided to create a Blood of love to spread throughout the globe. Connect to the above. From below, my time to shine. Coming through, age like fine wine. 40th trip around the sun. That's 39 been fun. Still believing I'm the one. Journeyed into the divine. Straightened up my spine. Color outside the line, maximize my grind. I kicked in the door, might have heard this before. More focused, more motivated, more in store. I'm in it to win it. Shout out Sean Bennett. May take a minute, no time to waste. Let's get it. It's the Rainmaker, make room. I'm the Rainmaker, make room.